like to thank Dr. Doty, and especially like to thank him, of course, and our administration in general for their support. Dr. Hamilton is here tonight. I'd like to thank him for being here tonight, our provost. Thank you very much. Tony Garcia had to leave a little bit early, but he was here to share this with us, our faculty representative, and Dave Curry, our athletic director. And a coach couldn't ask for more supportive or better administration, and I'm very thankful for it. Thank you again. And then all the people in Coach Curry's office, Ann and Jackie and Doug, and all the people over there that do such a great job. I'd like to thank our ball boys, the cheerleaders who helped with all the setting up the decorations tonight, our trainers, Pam and Craig, and of course Elizabeth and Brett, who are our student trainers this year. Aramark for the great job they've done tonight. My son-in-law, Steve Swatling, who did our program, our handout at the games tonight. I'd like to thank him. I'd like to thank, of course, the parents and the boosters and all the loved ones and the support people of all our players. Tremendous, of course, because you live and die with them, I know, every moment of every game. And I really want to thank you for your support. And I would also, of course, more significantly, or let's say the most significant thing tonight would be thanking the players who, obviously this is what this night is for, and they did such a great job, and they were so, special this year because of what they've accomplished and how hard they worked, and they were really something. And I would like to say thank you to everyone. And if I've left anybody out, my apologies. I promise you I didn't mean to, but thanks to everyone involved in the program, and especially the players. And I'd like to give the players a hand. Thank you. Now I'd like to bring up George Schaefer, who gives a senior tribute to all our seniors every year. It's a tape that they can pick up next week. He's just going to acknowledge all our seniors tonight one more time. And this is very important, of course, to me, especially because they were such a great group. But Coach Schaefer has been with me now 8 years doing this job. Drives up from San Diego County every day for practice, for every game, on non-salary. Does all of this just because of the love of the game and friendship for all of those involved in it here on this, in this program. So thank you very much, Coach, for everything you do. Thank you very much. George Schaefer.
I have some people that helped me a great deal in the field setup and then during the game. I'd like to call them forward right now. Mark Dennis, please, and then the ball boys. Why don't you come on up just a minute, please. Let me talk about Mark Dennis first. He was injured at the beginning of the year, had a season-ending surgery. He came into the office and said, what can I do to help this football team? He did the end zone camera, he did the practice tapes for the defense every day. He contributed to this football team, although he couldn't contribute on the field. And Mark, thank you very much. The young men that helped set up the field, the communications, to handle the ball responsibilities during the game, and then clean up the field after the game is over, I'd like to acknowledge them. We have Andrew, Long, Chi, and Chang, and I have certificates for them. And you gentlemen can hand those out to each other. Thank you, gentlemen. See you. Every year, Coach Fisher and I take a period of time and put together a tape to honor our graduating seniors. We did that this year, and that will be available to the seniors next year. I'd like to call everyone up now so that you can pick up your certificate, and then next week, after Thanksgiving, you can actually pick up the videotape. It's not the highlight film, it's a special thing just for the seniors. So if the seniors could come up now, we can take care of that.
the seniors, of course, will be called off later by position, so that's why we didn't acknowledge them by name, but we want to make sure that they get this tape and acknowledge them one more time as a group. The first coach I'd like to introduce is Derek Gossman. This was his first time with us. Did a fine job for us. He worked with our defensive line. He is going to acknowledge our captains one more time, which I think, since I've been here, and we had some fine ones, so I'm not saying anything negative toward the ones we've had in the past, but I think as a group, the best set of captains we've ever had, the most concerned, I think the best on and off the field leadership that we've had since I've been at Chapman University. I'm very proud of this group. So, Coach Gossman, if you would acknowledge them one more time for me. This is Derek Gossman, worked with our defensive line, did an outstanding job.
Okay, the captains for this year were Peter Deween. Come on up here, Pete. Lost in the first game of the season, and it was a hard blow, but he was there spiritually and emotionally for the team throughout the season. Next we have Brian Johnson. Defensive back. Was unfortunately secondary throughout the season. Next we have Thaddeus Walton. PA for the defensive line at defensive end this year. Had an outstanding year on the line. Eric Del Conte. Receiver, led the offense in several categories this season with his outstanding play. And next we have Lauren Ellis, captain of the defense, one of the other captains of the defense, outstanding year as a linebacker.
Okay, the next coach I'd like to introduce is George Sanchez Jorge. George Sanchez Garcia. Little inside joke, because I called him Coach Garcia on the field the first day he stepped out there instead of Coach Sanchez. But Coach Sanchez wound up being, I'm very proud of him, because he wound up being an extremely hard worker and really a fine coach. I'm looking forward to working with him, because he's already, grinding on that recruiting for me and everything else. He's a fine one. He's doing a great job. Okay, George Sanchez.
First of all, I'd like to thank Coach Vincent for allowing me to be a part of this great coaching staff, knowing that it's great group of young men. And I thank you for that, Coach. First of all, I'd like to introduce our redshirt freshmen who are here. We got Thomas Eldon Jones. Thomas, you guys? Thomas, along with Lorenzo Wilson, were a great group of guys who worked hard in the offseason, and not only that, they worked hard with the scout team and helped the defense get better. This is a round of applause for that. Our next guy that I'd like to introduce is Mark Dennis. Unfortunately, Mark got hurt early in the season, so he was unable to perform on the field, and he did a great job helping Coach Schaefer out, working out the video equipment. Mark Dennis. Our next receiver is Cole Duke. Cole was one of our redshirt freshmen from coming last year. He's a very hard-working young man. I look forward to working with him next year. Our next receiver is there you go. Rasheed Phillips. Rasheed, biggest heart in the world. Great young man. Reverend, that's right, we call him Reverend on the field. And our next receiver, of course you guys all know, who broke most of our records here on receiving, and that is Marvin Falls. taking out over at Palomar, so we can have him for a few more years. And then last of all, we have our seniors. We have Adam O'Neill. Adam actually had his first 2 touchdowns ever as a football player. So that was a great accomplishment for him. And last but not least is our senior and one of the most hardest working young men that I ever had the pleasure to work with, and that is Eric Delaconte. Not only that, as a captain, you set an example for all these young men up here. I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our 1999 Chapman University wide receiver squad.
Okay, next coach I'd like to introduce is Trent Julian. Trent Scott this is his 3rd year with us. He's an outstanding young coach. He is our quarterback coach and has all those tools to just be terrific. He already is a very, very good coach. He's going to introduce our quarterbacks and the Newcomer of the Year award. Okay, Trent Julian.
First of all, let me just go ahead and state that 2 other quarterbacks weren't able to attend tonight, Kevin Rodriguez and Todd McLean. Finally, let me go ahead and introduce the starting quarterback. He's got the farthest walk tonight because I know he's sitting way in the back. Let me go ahead and bring him up. That's Stanley Villanueva. I just found out that it looks like Stanley's got 2 more years instead of just 1, so he's made me a very happy coach. But on top of that, he's a very intelligent individual, and to be quite honest with you, he made my job very easy this year, and I'm grateful to have him. So thanks, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and introduce to you the Newcomer of the Year award. You saw his stats up on the highlight film. He was in the top of the nation in both punt returning, receiving, kickoff returns, phenomenal athlete. We're just happy as heck to have him. Let me go ahead and bring him up as Marvin Qualls.
We leave that open. If they want to say something, we allow them. If they don't, we don't make them. You know, so it's up to them. I want to say something about these awards. With the exception of the Ernie Chapman Award, which is our final award of the evening every year, these are completely voted on by the players themselves. The coaches don't even vote. So this is 100% the players voting on these. And every one of these, the individual that you see that won the award, was voted by his players. There's no overruling it or something by a coach. This is what the players wanted. That's what we do. So every one of these awards, so it's a tremendous tribute when it's your peers and your teammates that do this. Okay, next coach that I would like to introduce to you is Rene Hernandez. Coach, are you going to do this tonight? Okay. Coach Rene Hernandez played for me at Certified High School, where he was a great linebacker, one of the toughest guys I've ever coached. He became a sheriff for Los Angeles, and then we got together again a few years ago, and he's been coming over volunteering to help out with our kickers and with our DBs, and this is a real man's man, and I'm very, very proud to have him as a friend. And he's going to talk to you now about our kickers, and I also would like to do Mr. Jose. Okay? And then he's going to give our most valuable player special teams. Okay? Coach Rene Hernandez.
Actually, what it was is I was lost on special teams at Certified, and Coach Visser finally let me play linebacker my senior year. That's the real story. Anyway, especially at 5'7", he was really hurt. I have the kickers of the special teams, which was a challenge this year, considering the fact that for the last 3 seasons we had some excellent kickers, bar none, in Matt George and Mario Costa as far as punting. So this was actually time for me to prove myself, to see what kind of coach I was as far as kickers were concerned. Fortunately, I had a very good group of gentlemen, very patient with me, and listened, sometimes didn't like what I said, but they listened, and they stuck together all the way to the end of the season. I'd like to first introduce Steve Little. Arm Cleaner. Is Arm here? No? Ed Romo? Randall Sassler? Micah Miller. Micah here? Micah's a red shirt. He'll be with us hopefully next year. Anthony Gonzalez? How about kickstand? I'm sorry, but in this one, for about the first 3 weeks of the season, I wasn't sure what his name was, because no one would tell me. I had one coach say his name's Jose. No, the other one say, his name's Ruben. I said, well, what's his last name? I'll go with that. Gonzalez. So I'd call Gonzalez, and Tony would run out. I said, okay, that's it. Who's kickstand? And then he'd run out. I said, okay, that's it for the end of the year. Kickstand, you're it. And Todd McLean, I take it he's not here, right? Okay, Todd McLean ended up being our punter towards the end of the season, of which that job is still wide open, gentlemen. So that's our kickers for this year, 1999, the end of the millennium for these boys. The envelope, please. Our kicker, our special teams kicker for the year, or player for the year on the kick squad will be Ed Romo. Again, thank you to the players, and thank you Coach Visser and the rest of the staff for putting up with me.
That's quite an honor, Ed, because it's not just kickers, it's on Special Teams Player of the Year, Marvin Falls and people like that where returners got lots of votes in that category too, and so that's quite an honor, and congratulations to you. Okay, now, next coach I'd like to introduce is Coach John Hennigan. John has been with me several years now. He is an outstanding offensive line coach. The thing that I admire about John the most is that he is really, truly a gentleman. He is one fine person, quality human being, and that's the kind of guy that you would like to have teaching and coaching your young men, your children, your brothers, your husbands, whatever the case might be. He's the kind of man that you want them to associate with. He's one fine guy. He's going to talk to you about our offensive line and give out the Offensive Lineman of the Year award. John Hennigan.
First of all, I'd like to thank all of you, all the linemen, for the fine effort. One thing, the linemen were working both sides of the ball. We had a defensive session, all the linemen, both people who started on defense and the offense. And these guys really showed exceptional character and working very hard throughout the entire year. Our first offensive lineman that I'd like to introduce is Dave Bottom. Come on up, Dave. Dave started on defense and wound up being one of our starters on offense. And I'm looking forward to him coming back. He's going to do an outstanding job. Next, from Cerritos College is Chad Cooper. Chad is our right offensive tackle. Did a wonderful job pass blocking. Became a great run blocker as the season went on. And again, he's coming back, and we're looking forward to that. It was fun to work with John. He always gave us a great effort. Next is Mark Schaefer. Mark was our center. Did an outstanding job for us. Great team leader. Stanley Spencer. Stanley here? Stanley was a big, strong tight end and was also a tremendous help for us. Next is Jeff Chapman, and Jeff is our second-year starter. He's only a sophomore. He'll be back next year, and he's had an outstanding career here at Chapman. Also, I'd like to introduce our red shirts, Dustin McCants. Is Dustin here? Dustin's also Anaheim product and very fine young man. We'd certainly like to have him back next year. And then from Las Vegas, Nevada, Matt Newman. Come on up, Matt. That's a big, tall football player. Worked hard with the red shirt, did a lot of the scout team, and will be a great addition for us next year. Okay, it's my privilege to introduce the Offensive Lineman of the Year, led by example. Every play that we scored or made a big yardage gain, this young man was downfield trying to pick up extra blocks and help people. And Mark Schaefer, come on out. No doubt. Thank you very much.
One quick story on Mark. You know, he did not play a whole lot last year. He competed like crazy and just didn't get on the field much. We've got a lot of people in that situation kind of hang their head, and that was, you know, that's kind of it. He came in and was talking to Coach Norton and Coach Hennigan about what he had to do to get better so he could play the following year. And he said, thank you for the motivation, you know, because, you know, I'm going to have to prove to you that I can get this thing done. And he did. And that's a great job. And that's all there is to it. So, very proud of him. Next coach, Coach Norton, our offensive coordinator. He's going to talk about our running backs and our MVP on offense. Coach Norton. Coach Norton's been with me now several years as well. Outstanding man, great coach. We've told the stories about him being a world wrestling champion and that kind of thing, which are all true. The other thing we were worried about tonight was getting a tie on. Because we were concerned about a 22-inch neck and where he was going to find that shirt. But it looks like he got it done, so great job, Coach.
That's great. That's my life history. Big neck. Did something a long time ago that didn't mean much to many people. But anyway, I have just a few thank yous, and because I don't have too many running backs. And I'm going to take up just a couple minutes. I have a very old, wise mother who will be 86 on New Year's Eve. And she told me that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so figure it out. And I think we were talking with the coaches about being coach, who was coach of the year this year, and I pretty much decided that it was me. And let me explain why, okay? Because I let some really great coaches coach. Coach Visser, well, you know, I'm here, so he's not going to fire me yet. But he did a tremendous job taking over the offense. Coach Julian basically coordinated the passing game. Coach Visser, the run game. Coach Hennigan did a phenomenal job with the linemen that went both ways. And young Coach Jorge Sanchez, Sanchez, right? Okay. Coach Sanchez did a phenomenal job with the receivers. And I pretty much just got to sit back and watch it all happen. And it was a great year for me because I learned an awful lot by just letting people do their jobs. And I didn't have a whole lot to do with it. But I think that was my contribution. Secondly, I do want to thank the staff because they did a phenomenal job working. And Coach Young Al Witten for helping us with the scout team. Phenomenal. Great job. And just a little quick bit on the linemen. They said a little bit about the O, and I'm sure the D linemen will talk about it. I just want you to understand that the linemen, we didn't have offensive linemen and defensive linemen. We had linemen. They practiced, half the practice down at defense, and they came over and practiced with the offense. They didn't get any breaks. They went every rep. And the reason you win and lose football games, you can have the great receivers and quarterbacks and running backs, but if you don't have the linemen on each side getting the job done, you don't win. And the reason we were successful is because of those men. And thank you, guys. Okay, running running backs, first one I want to introduce is Tyrone Gribben, freshman. When he got in, did a phenomenal job. We're expecting great things out of him in the future. Jared Rollins, another local, Fullerton product. Jared started out, did some DB, came back, had a great game, pulled his hamstring. And I don't know what his medical redshirt situation is, but we'll look into that. Uber Rush. No, Uber Rush came back from 2 years ago, had just a tragic ankle injury, had it repaired, hardware put in it, and came back and did a great job for us. Shannon Lusk. Switched to tailback towards the end of the year. Phenomenal runner. Just get him to get a little bit bigger, stronger, and great things next year. Okay, Trent Facina. KO. Trent handled a heck of a lot of our tailback load. Got dinged a couple times this year, but came back and got to play against his brother who started for Azusa Pacific on defense. And we get a little more time with Trent next year and expecting great things. And last but not least, Philip Cruz. I just really can't stand the way he runs, but he gets the job done. He goes forward. And just irritating, but you know what? He goes forward, scores touchdowns. Didn't know he had a vertical, but nice flip right there, Pete. And last but not least, Jason. Are you here? Okay, Jason. Young, freshman, redshirt for us this year, and he did most of the load during the scout team, and that's a pretty hard deal. And standing with Coach Visser, all of a sudden you just say, you know what? He doesn't look fast, he doesn't have a lot of moves, but he always goes forward and gets yards. And we're going to be expecting a lot of things out of him next year. It's your running backs for 1999. Okay. Offensive Player of the Year. It's oh, okay. Yeah, I know. I'm not that removed. I didn't go to Oxy. I'm not nowhere near as intelligent as Coach. I went to a state school. But our most valuable player offensively, got a tremendous young man. I'm just really happy we're going to have a couple more years with him. Set 8 school records. If you went back and looked at the sheet back there, total offense in a game, 505 yards. Total offense in a season, 2,379 yards. Yards per game, 246.3. Completions, most completions in a game, 35. I mean, there's seasons here we can even throw the ball 35 times, okay? And just a phenomenal young man. He just does the very best he can. And I'm just really happy, and this is a great honor because it's voted on, as Coach said, by his teammates. 1999 Most Valuable Offensive Player, Stanley Villanueva.
I was going to compliment Phil on his dress shoes. Okay. Next coach that I'd like to introduce is Coach Stacy Vaginas. Coach Stace. Coach Stacy coached for me at Servite High School 20-something years ago. That's where we got to know each other. He was an outstanding coach there, and then he moved on, and I moved on to other things. And then I came to Chapman University, and he kind of started slow, and he, was kind of just helping out here and there a little bit. And then every year went by, he got more and more duties, more and more responsibilities, and he's a great coach. And then all of a sudden, it worked out that he had the time and the ability and the inclination to become a full-time coach for us. He is one fantastic man who I'm proud to call my friend. And he is going to talk to you about the defensive backs and introduce them to you. Okay, Coach Stacy Regina.
All right, I want to thank the university first for giving me the opportunity to be here, Coach Curry for an outstanding athletic program, and I have to thank Coach Visser. Coach said we've been together for 25 years now, and this is the second time he gave me the chance to coach an outstanding athletic program with a great bunch of football players and a great team. So thank you, Coach Visser. One more, Coach Bishop, I really want to thank also for having confidence in me, to give me a lot of say in what's happened defensively, and I really appreciate that. And to say Coach Bishop and Coach Bishop are my friends too, that's something special, something real special. I have to be smart enough to understand there's one more person I got to thank, and that's my wife for being there for me all the time. And that's real special. I want to start with the hit squad. The first group of DBs I want to introduce are the red shirts. And this year, in the modern history of Chapman University, red shirts have really made an impact. And as you see throughout the program, you can hear some names of players that are outstanding. And they started as red shirts here in Chapman. So this group of red shirts are going to go on and continue that tradition for 3, 4, 5 years from now, really being outstanding players. First one I want to bring up here is D'Artagnan Fennessy. D'Artagnan, great young man. He's going to do fine things. He's going to be around the program for a long time. The next one I want to talk about is Stephen Grassi. Come on, Stephen. Stephen's a great young man, a hard hitter, and the one thing that makes it hard for me to deal with him is he's an East Coast attitude. But definitely going to be around for a bunch of years playing some great football. Next one is Richard Herrera. Richard is special because he's probably the only person on a football team that has an attitude that's bigger or worse than mine. Next player, I'm not sure about this, but I think the next player is the only foreigner we have on our whole football team. He's from that faraway land, the islands out in Hawaii. Corey Smith. I'll tell you, look at these men here, because in a couple of years you're going to see some impact players at Chapman University. Okay, real special. The next group I want to talk about are the ones that are special to me because I know I'm going to be able to have the opportunity to coach again next year. They're going to be returners. Tony Gregorio. Is Tony here? Tony's on a lot of special teams, and he'll be back. Next one, Stephen Machuca. Stephen played on every single specialty team. You saw on the highlight film some of the hits he had. Stephen is going to just, his speed, his hitting, he's going to be there playing real big time for us next year. Kenny Aguilar. This is my second year with Kenny, a fabulous young man, terrific, hard worker. You ask him to do something, he's right there on the field doing it, and he hits hard, and he's going to be a major factor next year. Next, a name you've heard a couple times on the highlight film, face you saw a bunch of times on the highlight film, Mark Hastings. And you get real lucky to have an athlete that comes out the first year and sets a few things. This young man, you saw him take a field goal back. You saw him, he set the school record with 6 interceptions in 1 year. And he's coming back. That's the good news for me. Mark, next year, another one. The next guy, Dino Rossi. Dino had 4 interceptions, returned for touchdowns. You saw the kickoff, long touchdown return. Dino is a fabulous young man, excellent football player, and just going to be so grateful he's coming back again. The next group I'm going to talk about is the hardest group to talk about because these are seniors and they're not coming back and they're just some special people to me. First one I want to talk about is Mo Carter. Mo is just an outstanding young man, fabulous, and he was out there on the field all the time. Talk about specialty players. You look at these guys up here, and they're about half of the special team players are standing right up in front of you, and Mo is just a stud and a half. Next, I don't want to call this guy a young man. He's a man. I mean, just a man. And Neil Truso, come on up here. Neil had an outstanding year, just fabulous. He did things on specialty teams. He was our nickel back. He had an interception in the our first game of the season. He just did things that were just unbelievable. When you needed someone, you just turned to the sideline, look, Neil, go. And he was there and just outstanding. Next one is going to be Matt Guerrero. This is my first year working with Matt, and I regret one thing, that I had only but 1 year to work with Matt. He's an outstanding young man. You saw his picks, 3 interceptions for the season. He's going to do wonderful things in the rest of his life, just guaranteed. He's a man, and he's a great young man. And the last guy I have to bring up here, and I don't want to bring him up here, you know, because if I don't bring him up here, maybe he'll come back next year. But Brian Johnson. You're going to hear hundreds and hundreds of things about Brian, that, you know, how great a football player he is, how great a person he is, and you know, and all I can tell you is that they're underestimating everything about him. The one thing that is special about Brian is that he is an outstanding young man. He's just a fabulous person, and he had a great career at Chapman University, and he's going to go on and do wonderful things the rest of his life. I want you to see and give a final applause to 1999 Kid Squad.
Next coach I'd like to bring up is Al Witten. Al played for us here at Chapman University. He's a Chapman University graduate. He was really a pleasure to coach. He had one of those attitudes, work ethics that we keep talking about that you heard on the tape that was just everything you'd ever want in a young man. He's got the same as a coach. He is as fine a young coach as I've ever worked with, and more importantly, he's a very honorable gentleman. And I'm really glad he's with us. So Al's going to talk about our defensive line. Al?
First defensive lineman I'd like to introduce is Nelson Diaz. Nelson is a junior transfer from Riverside Junior College. He did an outstanding job for us this year at the light end position, and we're all very excited about having him back next year. Nelson Diaz. Mr. Paul Chappell. Paul has been in a precarious position, having to learn a couple of new positions this year, and I'm here to tell you that learning one new position at this level is pretty difficult. He did a tremendous job for us this year, and we're very much looking forward to having him back next year. Paul Chappell. Mr. Ray Jordan. Ray Jordan is a junior transfer from Santa Ana College. He did a great job for us this year, playing both nose guard and defensive tackle, and he, like others, we are looking forward to having him back next year. Gary Jordan. Mr. Dylan Lawrence. I had the good opportunity of being able to play with Dylan at Santa Ana College. Dylan Lawrence has had great work ethic here at Chapman University the last 2 years. He's been a mainstay of our defensive line and has done an outstanding job, and we'll hate to lose him. Dylan Lawrence. Last but not least, the big man, Thad Walton. Thaddeus is another guy who we're definitely going to hate to see go. He was a terrific football player, but more importantly, he is a terrific man. He's a guy, a man of integrity, a really, really good man. And we're gonna hate to see you go. Like that. Thaddeus Walton. Thank you. Quick story, 1996, the next man I'm going to bring up came here as a freshman, 210-pound freshman. In 1996, I came here as a junior college transfer, weighing about 260 pounds, playing on the offensive line. This guy, since he was a little bit little, I was able to push him around a little bit. Can't do that today. He's a lot bigger than me, but like I said earlier, great man, Thaddeus Walton. Defensive lineman of the year.
Okay, final coach I'd like to introduce, Dave Bishop. I don't know, Dave, what is it, 12 years or 13? I don't know. At any rate, Long Beach State, Whittier College here together. Every year I say the same thing, every year I will say it. As fine a gentleman as I've ever known. He is a quality human being. We have a lot of things going on in our society that maybe aren't the best, but if you have people like this around, more of them, you're going to have, I think, a structure and a discipline to your society that would help a lot of people. He is a fine man. He's been with me a long time. He's the assistant head coach. He's the defensive coordinator. He's the recruiting coordinator. Basically does all my work for me. And I appreciate that a great deal, although I don't try to let too many people know it. But I'd like to say thanks for everything he's done for me for a lot of years. And, another great job this year. He's going to talk about our linebackers and then give out the MVP, most valuable player on defense. Dave.
Okay, linebackers. I'd like to start with our red shirts. We had two freshmen who came here red shirted. First, Mark Morza. Mark has a tremendous future here. Hopefully the next 4 banquets, we'll be talking a little bit more about him. Tremendous potential, and look forward to coaching him for another 4 years. Next is Sean Wall. Okay, Sean was our other freshman that redshirted. Then Ryan Ross. Ryan came here as a true freshman this year and did not redshirt. Actually got some playing time and played on all of our special teams. A little bit of playing time at linebacker. Tremendous potential. You're going to see a lot of this young man in the next few years. Look forward to coaching him over the next couple of years. Ryan Ross. Next is Carl Agnew. Carl, new to our program this year, transferred down to San Diego, was our starting middle linebacker. Contributed greatly to our team. Obviously, was a starter in every game and a leader on our defense. And just a junior, so we'll have him back next year. Next is Terry Anu. Terry started out at defensive back for us, moved into linebacker, and then made his way all the way to defensive line. So Terry, in addition to being a linebacker and a great special teams player for us, We used him at defensive end in our pass rushing situations. He did a phenomenal job there also, and look forward to having Terry back next year. Next is Marco Bermudez. Marco, also new to our program, was our other middle linebacker and saw playing time in every game. Along with Carl, gave us a fine set of middle linebackers. And once again, I get to have him back next year. I'm looking forward to that. Marco Bermudez. Next is Nate Bush. Nate's been with us for a couple of years now. Came to us as a freshman and seen him grow and mature over the last couple of years and get more and more playing time every year. There's another young man that we use not only at linebacker on special teams, but at defensive end. Along with Terry was our pass rush defensive end. And Nate will be back again next year. Nate Bush. Now our two seniors, Mark Crowley. Mark last year was a running back for us. Moved him over to linebacker towards the end of last year. This was his first full season as a linebacker. And started every game for us at our Luke linebacker position and did a great job and had a great senior year. It was a pleasure coaching him. He did a great job in his first year at linebacker. And finally, Lauren Ellis. Lauren was a 2-year starter for us. One of our team captains, you heard him mentioned earlier, is a captain. Phenomenal leader on and off the field for us, was very instrumental in getting our guys to work hard and together in the off season and over the summer on their own. He half linebacker, half defensive back for us. Not only was he playing linebacker, but we'd ask him to man receivers and things like that, and did a phenomenal job. Great leader, great player, tough one to lose. They started every game the last 2 years. That's Lauren Ellis. Those are our linebackers for 1999. Next, I have the honor, privilege, pleasure of giving out our Most Valuable Player Award on defense. And as Coach said, these were chosen by our players, and there are a couple of great candidates for this award this year, but I think the players made a great choice. This young man's been with us for 5 years. One of the few people who's coming to our program here. Chapman's only been here 6 years playing football, and he's been here for 5 of them. Redshirted as a freshman, went on to become a 3-year starter, led our team in tackles, or was second in all 3 of those years. Several interceptions, blocked a few punts, scored a few touchdowns, and more importantly was a phenomenal leader for us, great man on and off the field, and that's Brian Johnson.
I didn't mention one individual, I'm just going to mention, he's not here tonight, but Garland Privet, who comes over and helps us as kind of an advisor for our kickers and one thing and another, has done that every year on a volunteer basis. And I just want to say thank you, even though he's not here tonight, to Garland, because he's done such a fine job for us. The final award of the evening is our Ernie Chapman Award. We started this award when we first came here. We were looking for an award that could be kind of a coach's award, because all the rest of them are by voting by teammate. But we have access to the information on GPAs, et cetera, that the team does not. So for this particular award, the coaches pick it. The thing that it says on it, I think, is the most significant. It says, given each year to the football player who best exemplifies scholastic achievement, athletic competition, and sportsmanship. And that's what it's supposed to be all about. That's what it's supposed to be all about, student athlete. These young men come here and they play without scholarship. They play for the love of the game. And I'm telling you what, sometimes when it's Wednesday night and it's late, you got to get up next morning to go to class and you're working and you're grinding out there. That's tough commitment sometimes. And yet if you're going to do it, you have to do it right. You have to do it right. You have to do it with all you got. There's no sense in doing anything halfway. And this is the young man that kind of exemplifies everything you're looking for that kind of young man, that kind of student athlete. He's had a GPA over 3 his entire career here at Chapman University. He He's been a tremendous athlete, of course, and he does represent sportsmanship. He's a class act in all the way. He came to us as a young man, and he's leaving us as a grown man with a wife and a child and another one on the way. But the Ernie Chapman Award goes to Brian Johnson. Brian wants to be a football coach. I don't know about that. But I tell you what, the young men he's going to deal with the rest of his life are going to be better for it. That I know for sure. That's what this should be all about. There's two kinds of coaches that get into this profession. I really believe that to be true. There's some of them, a very small percentage, that are in for their own ego gratification. They're there so they can get off and yelling at people and feel like a big guy and all that other stuff. And then there's the vast, vast majority of them who care deeply about young people and want to try and maybe at least teach one or two things of value. Maybe they don't exemplify them the way they should, but at least they'd like to try and teach them. My staff, all of them fall into that latter category, and I'm very, very proud of them because of it. We may not be the best coaches in the world, we work very hard at it, but we do our darndest to make sure that what we teach is the kind of thing that any parent might want to hear taught to his child. And I don't care how old they are. You're going to hear the same thing every time. You don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't steal. You walk the world with class and dignity. You treat people with respect and courtesy. You do that your whole life, period. That's what being a human being is all about. Now, as always, these young men taught me more than I taught them. This particular team was a lot of fun. All those things you heard in the highlight tape, I'm not going to repeat them, but they are all true. This team had a great attitude. They worked very hard all year. They did return Chapman University to a winning legacy. And it was my honor to coach them, my privilege to be around them, and I thank them one more time deeply. And I'd like everybody to give them one more hand.
I would just like to thank all of the players who signed the game ball for the first home game and gave it to me at halftime. I want to thank all of you for coming up from wherever that was and signing that game ball. I really appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. Was there any player who did not get mentioned? Did we let something happen there? We shouldn't have, because every once in a great while it may happen. We did. Okay, great. It got done. I am looking very much forward to working with this group coming back. But I'm going to tell you something, especially the seniors, the upcoming seniors. You got one tough act to follow. Because this was one great group of seniors in every way. But I know if you reach down and work hard, we can get her done. Okay? One more time, and then we're done for the evening. Give me a Chapman on 3. 1, 2, 3. Chapman!
On Monday. Who's that?
Good playing with you.
Good job, Coach. Boy, Kenny Michael.
Oh, should be a problem, but I've had several things come in. I had today, so. Okay. Hey, you guys coming on Saturday? We're having a party for her birthday.
About what? Right, dinner court. There you go.
I told the woman, I know, yeah. Yeah, right.
Wacko wacking.
We won't be having any fun, but they can do it.
That's awesome.
Was he expecting there too much for football? That's great.
I should have been.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I taped it
I'm
anyway.
glad you did too. Brian's going to let me take the stuff home and I'm going to just put it on his dad's dresser. So when he wakes up. God, that's a wonderful tribute. Huh? Wonderful tribute. He deserved it. You know who that gentleman is with him? That's Ernie Chapman. His father, you know, the older man, his father started Chapman University. Huh? Excuse me. Yeah. Exactly. Those are the
I didn't find out with my daughter either. I think it'd be really
I'll talk to you later.
He's gonna send some Raiders, dude. He's gonna send some Raiders.
I'll tell him how to
Hey, who said that? What do you mean the number?
That's Mrs. Ernie Chapman.
I know.
Then it was a day to be here.
I've been going to every counter. Absolutely not. That was my worst day of the whole 4 years.
Oh, yeah, but
Amelia, how come you're not taking pictures? How come you're not taking pictures? I don't believe it.
Congratulations, sir. Good job.
I'll be back on Saturday.
I'll be in and out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you. Take care of it.
We will, you too. Step on her toe.
Hey, the sheets. Look at the trophy boys.
One lineman I talked
Take those blue shoes. Those way Okay.
Say hi.
You want any, boy?
Congratulations, big boy.
You see something you like? It's upside down, though. That's a video camera. Hey, what do you like to close the video camera?
And that's cool, huh? I like that. I don't know if I can do this, though. It's kind of weird.
I don't know about that 3.
Yay.
That is normal.
I know not what sounds I love people. Thank you for the picture. Show him. Stick him out, man.
Honey, you don't have to.
Belly.
I got a lot of hardware tonight, huh?
Oh, blind.
You're driving. I'm just kidding. I was kidding. That was a joke.
Right, you're Jake. I can't drive that.
Brian. Oh, sorry. Oh, whoa.
I see what you guys are supposed to.
Hi. That's the best. Are you gonna, huh? Oh, I think we already
No, she was in the potty
You were in
room.
the bathroom.
Cool, that's a way to finish up the Disney too. Oh, great stuff. I wasn't sure.
Okay.
This is the man, right? He's the man. I knew he was going to get this one.
Very good. Oh, bye-bye.